Hi students, Miss Walsh here. Today we're going to learn how to find this standard deviation on our HP prime graphing calculator. So a quick word about standard deviation. Standard deviation is the measure of how spread out the data is, okay? And it's denoted by this little lowercase sigma. And what it is it's the square root of this other word called variance. And what the variance is it's the average of the square differences from the mean. What does that mean? That means if you have your mean right here, and I'm just going to denote it by this mu, you could also do x bar. And then if you have a couple of values and you find the difference from each value from the mean, in order for the positives and the negatives to not cancel out, we take each difference and then we square it, okay? And the average of those is the variance, okay? Standard deviation is just the square root of that. So it's kind of an average way to tell us on how spread out the data is, okay? So this right here is the mean. And then once we have the difference and we squared them, we add them all up and we divide them by however many there are, okay? So in this case, we have an example of these 5 dogs, and we're given that their mean is 394. And so you can see that because you have small dog and a big dog, you're gonna have pretty spread out values, okay? So first of all, let's confirm these values on the calculator, okay? So in our apps, this is just one variable statistics right now. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and enter our values. Now, if you have something else, I left this column here on purpose, and you just want to delete a whole column, then you can just highlight it and go to Shift backspace here, the delete, and it's going to ask you, and if you just want to delete the whole column, yep, you just hit it and there it is. Okay, so once we entered the values, all we have to do is hit stats. Uh-oh, I have a problem. Okay, so remember in our symbol value, which we've used before for the line of best fit, this is where you can indicate your data if you wanted to make a histogram or something else. So right now, the calculator thinks that I have my frequency in D2, and I don't. I only have my data in D1. So once I do this, I'm just going to go to my values again. And now when I hit stats, there's all of my information. There's the mean, by the way, and it's correctly 394. And then let's look for our standard deviation, and there it is. There's 147.32. Okay, so easy peasy. Yeah, so what I wanted to show you now is another way to find this. So this is going to be an alternate way. It's longer, but the goal of showing you yet another way, and if you want to listen to that later, then you can stop and go practice just the short way, is to use the spreadsheets. The spreadsheets, basically you have kind of like an Excel built in your calculator. So we're going to use this for the first time. Now, I could just retype these numbers, but we're going to be fancy, okay? So what we want to do is we want to grab all of these values. So I'm going to take this, and then I wanted to select them on. Select, and I'm going to select my whole column, okay? Once you've selected everything, then we're going to go Shift and copy, and we've now copied it, okay? So now let's go to the spreadsheets, and then we're going to go to Shift and paste right here, and then it's going to ask you, do you want to paste all these values? Now look, first of all, I grabbed the D1 with it, so I'm going to get rid of that in a moment, okay? But yes, I want the correct data, give me this, and then it has this little empty there, okay? I don't know if I can delete it. Okay, fine, whatever, there it is. Okay, I'll just put it first. Okay, so there's our data, and notice we didn't have to type it all, okay? So our mean is 394. So what I want to do now is I want to find all the differences, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over to the first value, and we're going to go, just like in Excel, we're going to hit Shift equal. So now he's going to know you're entering some formula, and you're going to tell him, hey, I want this value minus the mean. I think you can even get the mean somehow, but I'm just going to type in 394, okay? So now what he's done is he subtracted the mean from this value. You want this for all of them. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy this, boop, and now you want to select everything. So hit the little select bit and then go down, 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 down. And then you're going to paste this So we're going to go to paste. But of course, what is it that you want to paste? You don't want to paste this value. You want to paste the formula, right? So when you go to the right here, then it's going to ask you, do you want to paste the value or the formula? I'm going to say, I want the formula. And there it is. So if you click on it individually, now you see that he's followed through just like in Excel. What do we want now? Well, what we want now is we want to square these values. So again, we're going to go to Shift and we're going to go to, I want this and I want it squared, okay? And boom, there it is. All right, let's copy this. Copy, and then select everything. And then again, you want to paste, go to the right, and what you want is the formula, so I'm going to hit 2. Okay, now everything has been squared. So what we've done now is we have now found all of these values. What do we need to do with them? Well, we need to, remember, we need to average them out, right? We need to add them all up and divide them. Now, the nice little thing is, and if it's grabbing things you don't want, just hit unselect. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to find the average of that. Now, just to be fancy, I am just going to fill. I'm going to fill it in and make it orange. Okay, and now I'm going to go to menu. And what I want is I want the average of this. And I think you can actually do the whole thing. C1, okay. And then I want it from C1. And then there's 2 little dots right here. So I'm going to go to alpha to those 2 dots. And then I'm going to click on this. So now he knows to do it from C1 to C5. Ta-da! Oh my God, look at this. We've got the variance. We're almost done. And so now we want our standard deviation. And just to be fancy, I'm going to fill it another color. And what that's going to be is that's going to be the square root. So we're going to go to Shift and square root this value. Ta-da! And there's our 147.32. Now you might be wondering, why are we doing this with a spreadsheet? It's just for you to be aware of it, okay? You may want to be doing something like you need to average out a column. It's just good for you to be aware of the spreadsheet for the diploma of this, okay? So practice it both in the one variable statistics like we did just by hitting stats, a lot shorter. Or you can experiment with the spreadsheets and hopefully even have a little bit of fun with it. All right, bye.